Hello. So I thought I will make this video. It's kind of like an update. Okay, the thing is, I discovered as of this morning that I am trained to speak into the unknown. Yeah. Now this is something that I didn't know I have. It's kind of like the obvious is not so obvious, and until the time is right, it could be right in your face, but you cannot see it. Yeah. And this morning, I kind of was thinking about things, and then I realized I'm actually trained to speak into the unknown. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know there is conscious, subconscious, unconscious, supraconscious processes. And I've been saying I'm from the realm of the unknown, kind of. How deep did you go, kind of, in your work? So I'm speaking a lot of unknown stuff. So I'm from the realm of the unknown because people don't know to think in terms of a supraconscious. They even call it as Turiya. But let's just consider this beyond that. And I call that, so if you consider Turiya as supraconsciousness, beyond that would be conscience. Yeah. So for example, preconceived notions, when they're getting better, and then you have um, internal redistribution of units. It's like you have content in a box. And then it could be empty spaces, some spaces filled. Then you kind of remove the empty spaces. So it's kind of getting all nice, lean and mean kind. Yeah, just compact enough. Then things get better. There's internal redistribution of units. And then things get smaller. And in a way, is that how we have nanotechnology, small little bits of information? Kind of. Without getting it's like there's this area of a triangle when it's kind of like an equilateral triangle, how small can you get? There's a point where it won't go into, you can't completely collapse it. Yeah, so there's like that. So there's enough sufficient. So um, so conscience can keep getting better. So and I'm talking about Shrishti optimization. So I've kind of been there, seen that, done that, and making things better. Yeah, from having been there, seen that, done that. So in my field of work, Shrishti optimization, creativity, and um, um, improving nothing for the better. And I found when nothing is improving, everything, nothing that's at the heart of everything is improving, then nothing improves everything for the better. And I am continuing to improve nothing for the better. So everything improves for the better. Now, this may seem a lot of don't know. So I've been talking like this, trying to have conscious ways of thinking, subconscious ways of thinking, unconscious ways of thinking, also superconscious ways of thinking, be more informed, which is not really doing for other than that to be informed. Because I'm talking in terms of these levels. So who's going to do my syllabus? Yeah. Which is speaking into the realm of the unknown, because there are things beyond what you know about that you don't know about. So it's like you have Eisenhower matrix. You have I know that I know that I don't know, I don't know that I know, I don't know that I don't know. So there are three quadrants talking about I don't know. And when you kind of get a little more familiar with that stuff, what you know, you'll kind of look at, okay, how much do I know? How much of what I know is how much I really know? But it could destabilize you until you realize, okay, this is working and this is really working. And it kind of reinforces what you know when what you from content from what you don't know is found and it's reinforcing what you already know, then that's more stabler ground you can stand on. And a lot of people may not be inquiring in terms of this. And so we may have kind of gotten cookied into I know until you kind of come with maybe I'm wrong. So I'm inquiring to find where I'm wrong. So there is another way. When you're finding something and something that is already working is found to be true, then that is also something to be stood upon. Rather than just looking at where am I wrong? Where am I wrong? you may be looking at the thorn than at the rose. Okay. There are some people who may not even have thought about the thorn and rose. There are some people who are looking at, okay, there is thorn and rose. There is known and unknown, okay, drama and winner, and yeah, things that are working and things that are not working. Yeah. And so it's kind of like a transition from the sick economy to healthy economy. There are things that we don't know, humans are sinners and all kinds of civilizations. So Kardashev's civilization scores. Okay, I may be saying a lot of things that is not already known to people who have not had to think in terms of the Kardashev civilization scores. Okay, so let me stick a little bit within the realm of the known Eisenhower matrix. So there are then some people who think that yes, there is the rose and the thorn, and it's possible to have more rose, or that the rose and thorn have a role to play in the whole scheme of things. So it's not, the thorns are not necessarily bad. Rose is not necessarily good. Yeah. So there are some people who think in terms of that. And there are some people who think um, that there are roses and then there are thorns, like there are solutions and then there are problems. And problems, when they solve, make solutions better. And not everybody is thinking in terms of that. And then there are some people who see problems not as a problem, like, oh my goodness, problems, to like math. They go about solving it. So it's like a math problem. And thinking that every problem has a solution. Now, I don't know how many people think every problem has a solution. Not everybody may be thinking in terms of that. Some people think every problem has a solution. Few percentage. But there would be some people who may be not thinking problems as, oh, something to be worried about, but instead we can look at it without getting jostled, without getting into destabilized, oh my God, spaces. And then they may be looking at problems, they may still not be looking at the rose. Yeah, that there are solutions that are there. There are problems to be solved, but the problems are not discomforting them, not disconcerting them. But still, they may not be ready to look at the rose, that there are things that are working. And then further still, there are other people who may be functioning from, there are problems, there are solutions, and are functioning from, okay, thorns, but there are solutions. And looking at, have an eye on the rose, that there are things working. And there may be some other people, don't know if it's the same group, who are looking at, for that solution to get better, these problems solving will help it. And there are some more people who are looking at, there are solutions, and when these solutions get better, some other things become possible. For example, there could be a garden, and the garden doesn't have only roses. Who may be looking at, oh, there is light in the horizon, like you see here. There's a little light. There's light in the horizon. Yeah, it's not all doomsday. Some people think it's all dark. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. So there are some people who do see there is light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, like in the movie Moana. Yeah, want to go beyond the reef, want to go beyond the reef. Because there is something, yeah, so some see there is light at the end of tunnel, kind of. There is a garden outside the rose, and you're not just looking at the rose. And when you're looking at the rose better, or you're looking at what becomes possible from the solution becoming better, is that the garden out there, who may or may not be able to look at it, would be able to see things a little more better. And there are some more people who can look at, how can we make the garden better? So it's like some people are functioning from inside earth, like under the soil, all dark, or you can only look at that little thing that you don't even know what the problem is, and you go, "Ee." Some people are like, oh, seed. Yeah, if I'm going to put my shoot and root, can slowly kind of find food without disturbing everybody else. If somebody is disturbed, you can protect it like an amoeba. Yeah, and then slowly find your place. And then there are some more people who are kind of found a thing that will help them be nourishing, be better, and then slowly grow the root and the shoot, and then slowly come to the surface. Ooh, peekaboo, ooh, light. Okay, yeah. And then there is wind and sunlight and all that stuff, and too much. Yeah, we just do peekaboo. Yeah, and then we look at what is safe, because light also has a magnetic effect on the body. Yeah, and then you could be dealing with all kinds of challenges. Yeah, you can't think straight. So then what do?